Hello and welcome back to another experiment video on the channel. This time we're taking a look at Everton, as you can probably see from the title. We're doing slightly a bit different to what we've done with the West Ham and Chelsea ones. The West Ham obviously was just one person because we knew he had the job. If you've already seen the Arsenal one as well, I'm not too sure. That may be the last one of this group. I haven't sorted out the order yet. I've said this in every video. I'm trying to put it in order, but not too sure. Then obviously them two are just the one person. We're looking at them. Chelsea hasn't actually happened yet, and Conte's still in the job, so we just looked at the main name being looked at, and this one hasn't been hired yet. We're looking at two today. One I've read a story, looks like is virtually about to happen, and has probably happened since this has been recorded and edited and released. But it looks like it's going to be Silva, the former Hull and Watford manager, who obviously they chased when they sacked, was it Koeman, earlier in the season. It didn't happen. And the other one I'm looking at is, because after not getting the Arsenal job, I'd be amazed if Arteta, being a bit of an Everton legend in his own right, wouldn't be interested in going for that himself, and if they wouldn't maybe perhaps look at him. I mean, maybe if they're looking at someone for a bit more experience. But if Arsenal were taking him seriously, why would Everton not? Or if Everton aren't, then why were Arsenal, is basically my thought of that, and that's why I'm glad he didn't get it and maybe Emery did. But I'd like to see him at the club maybe as a coach or something, because by all means he's very tactically astute. So we're going to look at him first of all, and then we're going to look at Silva being the favourite. So we're going to look at the usual kind of things. I am pretty certain this won't be the first video release, so you know what the form is, you know what we're going to be looking at. So first of all, we're going to take a look at Everton and see if he's still in the job. He is still in the job, he's still there. No new names in the players there. So let's take a look at the season preview. They're expected to finish 9th, so you'd expect, again as usual, somewhere around there would be what you'd be looking at last season. Let's look at the promotion and relegations. Middlesbrough, Hull and Bristol City, so they didn't get any of them right this season. Let's see if they got any of the relegations right. As we've seen, the game's got a lot of the promotions right, one or two of the relegations correct as well. Palace, Huddersfield, West Brom, so it got 1 out of the 3 right, so in overall 1 out of 6. Not fantastic. But Everton themselves finished 12th. Well clear relegation points wise. Probably not as high at the table as they would like. I mean, only same points as Leicester for 11th, but then quite far back from 10th, which is the bang halfway point. Everton probably ideally want to be looking further up. Again, we've got Burnley up in 7th. I don't know what's going on, why it's not showing the European places. It's done it on all the others, and it isn't showing it on these ones. But I think Burnley may be in a Europa Leagues. No, they're not. I don't think they are, unless there's a cup involved there somewhere. Man City looking like they could be out of it as well. No, I'm sure there's 2 Europa League spots, but Man City and Liverpool 67 points. Arsenal finishing 4th. Chelsea actually winning the league in this one, which is normally Man United, but Chelsea by some way. What's that, like 12 points? 12 points clear. Wow. So they absolutely stormed that. I did mean to be looking at the Golden Boot and top goal scorers in these saves, but I haven't been doing it, and I'm probably not going to bother now either. But let's have a look at how they did in the cups and other competitions. Actually, we'll have a quick look at staff. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think there's anyone there new, but we always do try and have a little look at it. We'll try and skip off the cups as quick as possible. They are in the Europa League this year. Oh, of course they did. They did start in it this year, didn't they? So we'll start with the Carabao Cup out of the first hit, but they did draw Man United, so not a massive surprise. Mata, Rashford and Lingard getting the goals. It was done by 50 minutes. Yeah, not. I was always going to struggle to get through against a giant like that in the first go. Hull though, obviously have come up, so they're a bit of a form team, but losing 3-1 in the cup, FA Cup, not a great result. Looking at it, they possibly did have quite a few young names in there, so not taking it massively seriously. Yeah, to a degree. So they had Kairat, who Kazakhstan team, dealt with them quite. Oh, that was in the qualifier, so dealt with them quite easily, 5-0 aggregate. Sharif, who I think is Albania, Moldova. I do know these, but I just forget. I don't see those teams as much anymore as you used to. But yeah, what's that, 6-0 aggregate over 2 legs. And then they get to the group and they get Lokomotiv Moscow, Lugano, I think is Switzerland, it is. Obviously Moscow is Russia, and Lazio of Italy. But they get some great results. Only dropping points to Lokomotiv Moscow, actually. A loss and a draw, so I assume Moscow may have won that group. Actually, they may not have done, because if they drop points against Lazio, etc., Everton washed all those away in the other games. Then they had Lugano, who that was in the group as well. Oh, they're the ones that are from Switzerland. Yeah, of course they are. They finished that with a win, Davy Klaassen. Second round was Besiktas. Not an easy place to go to, but a 2-0 aggregate win there. Rooney getting the goals. Seen a lot of Rooney goals in this. Ajax in the second knockout round. Again, Rooney. But 2-0 in aggregate. So they're not conceding and not scoring a great deal, which is not a bad combination, but it saw them unstuck against Atalanta. I imagine Gomez scored in these games. I love Gomez. I love his FIFA card. I've mentioned it before. But they got Cornelius. He used to play for Cardiff. He was signing on this game, on this save only. So 2-2. Got 2 away goals. You think maybe go to home and take it, but 3-0 and Petagna with a hat-trick. Not too much to say about that, really. So let's have a look and see who he brought in player-wise. We're just trying to whiz through and keep these sort of fairly brief. Jose Baxter, who's gone out, who I didn't even realise he was still there. Has he just been loaned all this time? Did he sign? They signed him back and then sold him again. Strange. Jordi Figueras on a free. Signed him from... Where's he come from? Turkey? I'm not even pronouncing that name. Dodgy game if you're watching. If you can give me a pronunciation on that, I'm sure you'll be able to enlighten me. He had a good season at Kolkata in India, but I mean, he should really, with the level, he's probably above that level. But he's now worth 8 million, so strange. And then on the outs, they sold Nias to Lyon. And other than that, not much else to talk about. John Joe Kenny on a loan to Burnley and got possibly into Europe. And then on the ins, Rika from Malaga. Don't know much about him. A left back. Yeah, I'm not surprised he didn't play too many games with Leighton Baines there. I think he might start off as injured in this game, so that could be a bit why. Leonardo da Silva Lopez. We saw him signed by West Ham and not play from Peterborough as well, didn't we? And same things happened again. Did he sign right at the end? No, he signed in January. And then Ronnie Lopez from Monaco, sort of really versatile midfielder. I imagine he would have got some game time. He did okay. He's had a few loan spells from Monaco. He's played for Man City as well. But he's getting loaned out quite a bit. So I think that wraps up Arteta. What we'll do, we'll come back now and we'll look at probably the likely candidate, which is Silva. I forget his name. I forget these guys' names. I should look it up. We'll come back for Silva. And we are now back. Look back with this second part of this experiment. We're looking at... He's not in charge. He's no longer in charge. Did I put Pulis in charge by accident? Let's have a look. It was Mauro Silva, isn't it? Marco Silva. He lasted 202 days. He got to January. And then Unsworth came in as caretaker and Tony Pulis come in. So he left on the 14th of January. So just after the Christmas and New Year sort of hectic schedule. So if we did... they're still in this year. So Pulis must have come in and kept his record up of saving them. So season preview, where do Everton sit? Mid-table 10th. So again, you'd expect them to be looking round about there. And obviously they didn't hit that. Relegation promoted wise, Middlesbrough, Hull, Bristol, none correct. I think it's pretty similar to what we had last time with Arteta. Let's see how we got on promotions, and we'll have a look at how they did. So they ended up finishing 11th. Quite clear. So I don't know if they were in the relegation places under Silva or they just were struggling and they needed a boost. But Huddersfield, Palace and West Ham going down, so 0 for 6. Swing and a miss for the game in this iteration. Man United smashing the league ahead of Arsenal. Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. Go to the first half of the stage. So first half is 19 games. So that takes you to about... It's around about Christmas, I think, isn't it? And Everton were 11th. So not much... I mean, the points are a bit close and they've lost 7 games. So you can kind of get it. And then the second half of the stage... End up in 11th. A point better. It's a strange one. Let's take a look. Did he just go? He was sacked, wasn't he? He was sacked. Yeah, strange. So we'll have a look, see how he did in the cups, because that may have also played a part. We'll leave Euro Cup ticks on because we're going to have a look back at that first. And they did end up getting to the first knockout round, but he would have only been in charge of sort of Aberdeen, Rijeka from Croatia. Yeah. Guimaraes in the group. He would have played the group games. It looks like he navigated them through the group with Ajax and Ziln. Is that Lithuania? Czech Republic. Zlin, even not Ziln. And then Hertha Berlin was in the new year, so Pulis couldn't get them through against Hertha Berlin. Out to Palace in extra time, so not a good cup run there. And last but not least, the FA Cup. Again, out to Fulham early doors. So really not doing any justice in the cups, domestic cups anyway. Transfer history, they've signed, I mean that's irrelevant because these are, I mean it's a lot of money spent, but these are Pulis' signings. Surprised Peter Crouch isn't in there, but you know. Outs Nias again to Lyon, we saw that last time. So maybe there's a director of football who's orchestrating some of these. Robles to some Spanish team. Luke Garbett to Fulham. Jose Baxter again signed and released. I think he signed at the start of the game. Maybe it isn't the managers here that are signing him. Lopez on a loan again. Sandro, hang on. A different Alessandro Lopez scored against them for Hertha Berlin. I thought it was this guy who's played for Lyon, but it's not. He actually signed for them. Didn't do anything in the slightest. Old striker now. A Norwegian goalkeeper from the Danish league. Second year card will probably know a little bit about him and certainly how to pronounce it. Dede, is that the old centre back, the old FIFA sweaty legend? It is indeed. Signed him, didn't do too much. And Nick Viergever, I know a little bit about him from my Ajax save again. Again, another left back, played a few games probably while Baines was injured. That's probably what explains that. But most of these, I mean those three here were around, this one would have been him. This may be put in place or getting put in place around his time. Let's have a look at the staff. Do they have a director of football? They do, Steve Walsh. So maybe he's orchestrating these transfers, which is why we're seeing a bit of similarities in the saves. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this would be... Obviously, there's not going to be any part 2 in this one because he's not in the job. But let me know what you think. Well, there's not really much to comment on what you think. Just what you think of how that season went. Obviously, Pulis didn't do much better. Do you see Pulis keeping his job? Would you have sacked Silva after that? Maybe giving him a bit more time to put his imprint on the team. He obviously didn't get too many players in. So a bit of a strange one. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like. Any comments at all, whether it be about what I've just mentioned or just anything in general about the video, let me know. And while you're here, please also drop a like on the channel. It'd be very much appreciated. Lets me know that what I'm doing is being watched and being enjoyed. Yeah, so without further ado, we'll be on to possibly another experiment after this one, depending how I release them. Quite possibly. I think there is one more after this one, which I've got to re-simulate it because I did it and messed up. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you later. Take care.